Good morning, everyone, and welcome to The Water's Edge, a place where everyone is welcome. And if you're live with us today, we're so excited to have you here. And if you're online with us this morning, be sure to check us out on Facebook and YouTube, and feel free to like, share, and comment. And also, now that we're back live, we're in need of volunteers. So if you volunteered in the past, or maybe God put it on your heart to volunteer now, you can email us at watersedgevolunteer@gmail.com, or you can text your contact info to 337-352-2443, and we'll get you plugged in. We have a full experience for you guys this morning, so get ready to enjoy worship and our message from Pastor Tony.
Silences the enemy. Let praise be the weapon that conquers all anxiety. Let it rise. Let praise arise. We sing your name in the dark and it changes everything. We sing with all we are and we claim your victory. Let it rise, let praise arise. We'll see you break down every wall. We'll watch the giants fall. But fear cannot survive when we praise you. The God of breakthroughs on our side, forever lifted high. With all creation cry, God, we praise you. Oh, 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 oh. We praise you. Oh, 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 oh. Let faith be the song that overcomes the raging sea. Let faith be the song that calms the storm inside of me. Let it rise. We'll see you break down every wall. We'll watch the giants fall. Fear cannot survive when we praise you. The God of breakthroughs on our side, forever lifted high. With all creation cry, God, we praise you. Oh, 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 oh. We praise you. Oh, this is what living looks like. This is what freedom feels like. This is what heaven sounds like. We praise you, we praise you. This is what living looks like. This is what freedom feels like. This is what heaven sounds like. We praise you, we praise you. This is what living looks like. This is what freedom feels like. This is what heaven sounds like. We praise you, we praise you. This is what living looks like. This is what freedom feels like. This is what heaven sounds like. We praise you, we praise you. We'll see you break down every wall. We'll watch the giants fall. Fear cannot survive when we praise you. The God of breakthroughs as you are or as you want to be. Are you ready? Are you ready? Come now. Tired, broken, scared, or just in need. Ready or not, it's alright. Take your time, if nothing else, just come. There's no place like His presence. There's no time like the now. Every 1, 2, or 3 of us, count Him in here and now. 'Cause He welcomes the broken. He's alright with your past. He's not mad at any one of us, and He waits with open arms, says come. Ready? Are you ready? Come now. Leave your inhibitions at the door. Are you ready? Are you ready? Come now. Lay your burdens down. He's got them all. Are you ready? He's still faithful to deliver, mighty as ever to save. He's still good on His promises, and His love still never fails. He's not moved by perfection, or how well we look the part, but He's wild about the hidden stuff, like He's wild about the heart. So come come now, bring Him praise for what He's gonna do next. Are you ready? Are you ready or not?
What an amazing time of worship with the Water's Edge Band this morning. It was such a great and moving experience. And by the way, if you'd like to partner with us through giving, here's a few ways you can do that. You can visit watersedgegathering.com, or you can download the Waters Edge app and simply click on Give. You can also text your dollar amount to 337-223-9003, or you can make a check to P.O. Box 572, Lake Charles, Louisiana 70602, or 2760 Power Center Parkway, Lake Charles, Louisiana 70607. Now open your hearts and your minds and prepare yourself for a message from Pastor Tony.
What's up, everyone? Good morning and welcome to our Sunday morning Waters Edge online worship experience. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thank you so much for tuning in and continuing to tune in from all over the place. And for those of you who are continuing to be generous and you give back to your church because you love your church, thank you so much. We're continuing to love people and serve people and feed people. And if you haven't heard, we are back in-house every single Sunday at 9:30 and at 11:15 a.m. We have in-person live services. If you don't feel safe just yet, just continue to tune in online and share these messages with your friends if you think it may help them, because we share a lot of helpful content, and that's why we do what we do. We want to help people because we love people. Last week, we started a brand new series entitled Make a Splash. And over the next few weeks, what this study is going to focus on is this: overcoming those roadblocks in our life that keep us back from peace and joy and happiness. And we all have those roadblocks in our life that's holding us back from what's really going to make us happy. It's holding us back from joy. Everyone that I know is on a very specific search. Everyone that I know is on a very specific quest. Most of us, if we're being honest though, we're not on a specific quest mainly for truth. If we're being honest, we're not on a very specific quest mainly for integrity or character or wisdom or personal growth or honesty, even though we do search for these things. But I know this is true about me, and I also know this is true about you. The main thing that most of us are searching for today is living a life of joy. Because if we can live a life of joy and happiness, then we know we could live a life of peace. And that's what we all want. We all want those two things, joy and peace. Several years ago, it was August of 2002. I was in North Alabama speaking at a youth conference. It was near Anniston. I was staying at this big, beautiful, historic hotel. And the conference was on Wednesday night and Tuesday night and Wednesday night. And so that next Thursday morning, I was downstairs at the hotel eating breakfast, getting ready to go back to the airport. And as I was sitting there eating breakfast, there was three men sitting next to me at the table right by me, and they were eating breakfast together, and it looked like they were on a business trip in Anniston, and they were just getting ready to go home too. Not only did they seem like they were out-of-town businessmen, but they also seemed like they were pretty good friends. And I started to hear them talk about their recent vacations that summer with their families. And so the main thing I could hear them talking about was not how much fun they were having with their spouses and their families. Instead, this is what I overheard them talking about. They were complaining, they were expressing their frustrations, and they were making these little jokes about their spouses and about their loved ones. They seemed to be three close friends, and because of that, probably more honest with each other about certain feelings than they had than with other feelings. And as I was sitting there listening, it kind of made me sad. And this is the reason why it made me sad. I was sitting there hearing their jokes and their comments and their frustrations about their spouses and about their loved ones, and it seemed like maybe the people that knew them and loved them the most, their families, didn't know a different side to these men. So you had these people in their life who were their family, and they loved them more than anyone, but maybe there was a side of them that they didn't know. It was extremely obvious that the jokes and the comments and the frustrations they were making about their spouses and about their families was supposed to be kept between these three men only. They wouldn't want their loved ones to hear these comments. And I couldn't help but think about these men and how probably they had some other things in their life that they didn't want people to know about. And it just made me wonder about how many people that we know, or even many of us, have a different side to us. We have one side that we want people to know and see, but then there's a different side to us. What if I told you this today, and I want you to remember this, that joy and happiness and satisfaction is the result of arriving where you intended to be in life. If you want to be satisfied, if you want to have joy, then this happens when you finally arrive where you set out to go. We have to understand that happiness doesn't just happen to us, and joy and peace is not something that just happens to us. It has to be intentional. And this is what it means to be intentional. And remember this again today. If you're still with me, say I'm still with you. To be intentional means that I decide what I want my life to look like, and then I order my life accordingly. Let me say that again. To live with purpose and to live intentional means that you decide according to God's will what you want your life to look like, and then you start to order your life accordingly. Happier outcomes are the result of intentional living. Notice what it says in the letter to the disciples in Ephesus, Ephesians chapter 5, verses 15 through 17, and I'll be reading out of the New Living Translation. Notice this, it says, "So be careful how you live. Don't live like fools, but live like those who are wise. Make the most of every opportunity in these evil days. Don't act thoughtlessly, but understand what the Lord wants you to do." Notice the breakdown here in this letter to the Ephesians. Live careful. Don't live foolish. Live wise. Live your life in a way where you make the most of your time and you make the most of your opportunities. Do not live thoughtless. Live thoughtful and live God's will. And all of that screams living with intention. If that doesn't, I don't know what does. All of this in this letter to the Ephesians screams live with purpose. And you may say, "Tony, that's what I try to do. I try to live my life with purpose." Okay, that's cool. That's great. We all should. But is there a different side of you that comes out every now and then that doesn't? And how strong are you allowing that side of you to become and grow in your life? Have you ever heard of the term CODA, C-O-D-A? This is what it means. It means a child of deaf adults, a hearing child who can hear of two adults that are deaf and they can't hear. Could you imagine growing up as a small child who can hear, but your parents cannot hear? And you have to learn how to communicate to both the hearing world and the deaf world from the very time you're born. The challenges of learning both from the very time you're born. When you grow up like this, you live with this hyper awareness to make sure that you're always communicating in a way that you can be understood. You don't ever want to be misunderstood. You're always asking, is what I'm communicating making sense? And how can I intentionally help you understand me? You don't have the luxury of being fickle. You don't have the luxury of being reckless. You don't have the luxury of being two different people. You have to be intentional so you are understood. And in the same way, here's the deal about living with intention. This is why it's so important. And remember this. It'll never bring you to your undesired destination if you live with intention. It'll never take you to a place that you didn't want to end up. Because again, living with intention means that you decide what you want your life to ultimately look like according to God's will, and then you order your choices accordingly. You order your patterns. You order your habits. You order your goals and your actions and your decisions and your life accordingly. And arriving in life where you set out to arrive will always give you satisfaction. And when you have satisfaction, you have joy and happiness and peace. So understanding all of that, I have just 3 questions for you this morning for you to use as filters. Filters to evaluate your life as you try to live your life with intention and purpose. The first question is this. If you're still with me, say I'm still with you. Number 1, is there a private side to you that needs to be tamed? The truth is, we all have that in us. All of us have 2 sides, 2 beasts, 2 people, 2 wolves. One of us is trying to lead us to our preferred future, and the other one is trying to lead us to a life of carelessness or living without intention. That's what it means to be careless. It means that you're not living with purpose. You're just kind of deciding as you go. And whichever wolf or beast or version of you that you feed the most, and we've all heard this, will determine who you become. Be careful what you dwell on. Be careful what you imagine. Be careful what you think about. Be careful what you justify. Be careful what you make excuses for. And feed the version of you that's trying to get you to live with intention that will get you to your preferred future. Number 2, what version of you do you want to be known for? Listen, most people, including your loved ones, will only remember you by how you ended up. Let me say that again. Most people, including your loved ones, will only remember you by how you ultimately ended up in life. And so the current version of you that you're living right now, where is it taking you? The current version that you're living right now, where is it going to cause your life to end up? To where you intended to end up, or to a destination that you want to be headed for? Understand that that's how you're going to be remembered. The third and last thing is this. Is the current version of myself honestly bringing me peace on the inside? If it is, chances are you are living with intention, purpose, and focus, and it's bringing you to a destination that you're working towards on purpose, and you can see your life arriving there, and it gives you a sense of satisfaction, and that gives you joy. Remember, that brings us satisfaction, and living that life gives us peace. But if you're living unsatisfied today, if that's the way you're living, then chances are you're living the wrong version of yourself, and you're feeding the wrong version of yourself, and you're listening to the wrong version of yourself, and that version is leaving you on this constant search. And this is what the search is. Why can't I just be happy? You're always asking that. Why can't I just be happy? Satisfaction, joy, happiness are always the result of arriving in life where you intended to be. So constantly feed that version of you, and joy will find you. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning. We love you. Have a great week. Can't wait to see you back next week.
We really hope you enjoyed today's service, and we pray that the message from Pastor Tony really encouraged you and helped you in some way today. And if you want to get connected with the church through social media, you can hit us up at Waters Edge Gathering on Facebook and at WatersEdge_LC on Instagram. You can also download our app where you can do online giving, listen to online worship, and you can replay messages from Pastor Tony. And if you want to know more about salvation and baptism, want to volunteer, or you just need a prayer request, you can visit our Welcome Center where you can visit our lovely volunteers and they'll get you plugged in. We absolutely love you guys. Have a great week.